The purpose of an elevator pitch is to describe a solution that is so compelling that the person who's listening to you wants to hear more when the elevator ride ends. Seth Godin. Elevator pitches are important. We need to sell ourselves. We need to sell our dreams, our aspirations, who we are, what we do, and who we're doing it for. And most of us don't know how to do it, which is exactly why in this week's episode of MasterTalk, I'm going to be covering the 5 common mistakes that we all make with elevator pitches. Hi everyone, Brendan here from MasterTalk on your go-to channel to mastering your talk, and today we're covering the art of avoiding all the mistakes that everyone makes with elevator pitches. So let's get into it. Number 1, not enough detail in the way that we talk about ourselves. Elevator pitches are pretty boring because people talk about the clients they work with, they talk about what they do, who they are, what they're trying to achieve with their business, or what they do with their families or something. But they don't talk about their passion. Sure, they talk about the fact that they have a son or a daughter, but they don't add the layer. Why is family important to them? What passions do they have in life? What do they actually care about and believe in? The more that we start to substitute our services, the stuff that we serve people with the way that we help others, with the way that we see our human potential, with the way that we describe things that we like to do, whether it's drawing, music, and bringing a lot more diversity in our message instead of just a clean business pitch, that's when we get people excited to hear more about us, to hear more about what we do. Before when I used to do elevator pitches, I would go up to cocktails and go, yeah, so my name's Brendan and I'm I work at a company. And it wasn't really interesting. People really weren't paying attention. But now when I go to cocktails, people ask me what I do and I go, well, I make YouTube videos on public speaking, and they go, what? Tell me more about that. So find those quirky little details, those interesting parts about your personality that pulls people in. That could be a hobby that you like. That could be a project that you're working on like this, something interesting. And I promise you, when you write that elevator pitch word for word, you reword it, you'll realize that you're a lot more interesting than you think. Number 2, adding too much detail in our elevator pitches. I know this is unfortunate. I just told you to add more details, but if you add too much, it becomes nauseating. If I came up to you as an introduction, I said, my name is Brendan, I'm the founder of MasterTalk. I have thousands of subscribers on YouTube and countries. You get it, you're like bored. You're like, Jesus, dude, stop talking. This is crazy. So the point is, you want to balance the detail and the non-detail. So let's say I came up to you and I said, I make videos. You go about what? What are you making videos on, buddy? But if I say I'm MasterTalk and I do all this stuff, you also don't like me either. So the key is, how do we find that middle ground where I tell you just enough about me that garners interest, but doesn't make me gloat about my accomplishments? That's why my go-to is, I make YouTube videos on public speaking and I don't say anything more. And then people ask me more questions. So where is that middle ground for you? Some people add too much detail, other people add too little. So when you find that in-between element, that's when you have the perfect elevator pitch. Number 3, not thinking long and hard enough about the person we're trying to serve and assist. There's a reason why in my elevator pitches I include words like YouTuber or public speaking tips. Yeah, sure, it's to get to know everyone, build a relationship with people, get new friends, but also to attract the people who need me. So let's say I'm having a conversation with you and I say, I make YouTube videos on public speaking tips. Some people go, oh, that's nice. But a lot of people go, oh, I struggle with communication my whole life. What's your YouTube channel? Or somebody else would say, oh, well, I make content. What advice do you have for me? And we can start a conversation from that discussion point. It allows me to figure out who out there in the world can help me advance my vision further. So in the same way, when you think about your elevator pitches, this is not something super formal. It's just a way for you to hint and signal to the people that say, oh, this is the project I'm working on, and gives them an opportunity to say, hey, let me help you with that project. I'm actually a designer. My brother actually does that. So it's a good way to find that in-between element, to adding the right amount of detail and thinking about the person you're trying to serve. Because if you don't do that, a lot of your conversation will be small talk. So like, how's the weather? Oh, yeah, it's good. And you won't really get anywhere with the talk. And as you get more ambitious in your life, which I'm sure you will as you keep watching these videos, is you'll be a lot more direct and you'll put a lot more thought into the way that you think about your elevator pitches. So be sure to master this and think about the person you're trying to serve. Number 4, not having enough ways to build a rapport with the person you're speaking to in your elevator pitch. Look, I get it, elevator pitches are tricky, but a secret sauce to get this right is pitches are in many ways like a restaurant menu. So if you had a restaurant that's amazing, and there's so many things to choose from, you could say, oh, I want to do this today, or I want to try this, or I want to eat this dish. But if there's nothing on the menu, or one thing on the menu, and it's just a glass of water, you're kind of just sitting there thinking, well, why did I come to this restaurant in the first place? In elevator pitches, you have the same opportunity. So let's say I'm speaking to someone who doesn't really care about public speaking because they're really talented as a speaker anyways. I'm going to list a couple of interests that I have at the end. So let's say I say, you know, I'm a YouTuber, I make YouTube videos on public speaking, all that jazz. But I'm also passionate about social impact, technology, and innovation. So what this other person does, they go, well, I'm passionate about technology too. Let's have a conversation. They're picking from my menu. Whereas if I just go, hi, what's your name? Brendan. Why are you asking? Well, there's nothing for me to pull on. There's nothing for me to ask to build a rapport with you. So you want to create that opportunity for someone to say, hey, by the way, if you're passionate about this thing, I just told you I was, so let me know you are too so we can start a conversation. A great example I can give you is one of my business partners that I work with. We talked about our favorite TV show for 20 minutes. And now we talk about startups and entrepreneurship and technology, and we vibe a lot very well. But it all started from a TV show. So find that commonality with that other person, and that's how you engage in deep, meaningful conversations. Number 5, way to state the obvious, Brendan, but it's just true. Practice makes perfect. Most people don't spend enough time thinking about their elevator pitch. They go, oh yeah, I got a job interview and I gotta figure it out, so I'm just gonna figure it out and see what happens. And that doesn't work. It just doesn't work. You need to be very thoughtful about your messaging, thoughtful about your brand in the way that you dress, in the way that you are, so that you can communicate to the right people that you want to hear from, that you want their support for whatever that is that you want to do and work on. So when you think about your elevator pitch, do it 100 times. Not 10 times, not 20 times, do it at least 100 times. It's a 30-second pitch. Spend a lot of time having conversations with people and ask your friends the following question. Do you believe this elevator pitch summarizes who I am very well? Why or why not? And if the answer is no, be sure to drill on what the reason is. Another question you can ask your friends is if you were to remove one part of the speech, what would you remove and why, and what would you replace it with? That's what got me really focused on who I was as a person. If I were to summarize who Brendan is in one sentence, it would be my willingness to help other people achieve rocket level success. That one sentence took me months to figure out through conversations with my friends. So once you have that one sentence, once you've practiced your pitch so many times, it'll be much easier for you to communicate your vision for the world and attract the right people, like my video editor and the guy who does my thumbnails, to what I'm doing with MasterTalk. As Seth Godin taught us, the goal of an elevator pitch isn't to sell you something, it's to inspire you. To say, hey, this elevator ride is over, but I want to keep talking to you because you seem interesting. And that should be the goal for all of our pitches. So I hope you have that focus moving forward so you can elevate not just your presentations, but also the ideas that you want to share with the world. As always, if you enjoyed this week's episode of MasterTalk, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well to see more videos like this. And if you know anyone out there, and you probably do, who intros like this, yeah, so I'm Brendan and I work at this thing, send them this video so that they'll be one step closer to sharing something cool about their lives. See you next time on MasterTalk.